and thank you for joining us on the news briefing for this Wednesday. Car Week is launching in just a couple of days. There are so many events going on for the public. There is something for everyone. If you live on the peninsula or really anywhere, you know that people in cars are already arriving. But there is a tremendous amount of coordination that goes on behind the scenes to make Car Week a success. We're really pleased to have Lindsey Stevens from Monterey to tell us how this all comes together and why does everyone love Car Week? They do.
Thank you, Maria. Yes, absolutely. Give me just 1 second and I'll share my screen. I'll say a few things first and then share and show you some of the planning tools and resources that Monterey provides, not just visitors, but also our locals. So as Maya said, we all feel it. We know Car Week is coming. You can feel it on the air or feel it in the air and see it on the roads. So, you know, Car Week is really, there's no one organizer. Car Week is made up of more than 30 events countywide. And so Monterey tries to act as an aggregator for all of the Car Week events and happenings that are going on over the 10-day period. So we do strive to be the best source of information for people to find out about all these events, about how to get around, some free resources and things like that. So I'll run through our website in just a few minutes. But wanted to really remind everyone of what a great economic driver Car Week is for the destination. It brings upwards of 85,000 people year over year, and that's millions and millions of dollars in economic impact, not just from the visitor spending, whether it's hotels, restaurants, gas stations to fill up all your great cars, but also the charitable side of things. Annually, Car Week events raise anywhere from $3 to $4 million for our local charities. So that goes directly back into our community. So while you may see a few more cars on the road or feel the pinch when your commute of 5 minutes goes to 8 minutes to the grocery store, we do need to keep in mind what an important part of our ecosystem that is and how much it really drives for our community. So we continue to act as a resource, like I said, not just for the visitors coming in, but really for locals as well, and going from a position of promotion to information when it comes to Car Week. So we have, what I'll share now is our website at cmonterey.com. Share here. And this is our main Car Week page. So it's very easy. It's just cmonterey.com/Car Week. And that'll land you right here on this page where we have a listing of all of the events that we're aware of going on over the 10-day period. So we know there's always some new ones popping up and things like that. And we welcome anyone who knows of events or is connected with organizers events that are not on this page to contact us so we can make sure that we have all that information. But you'll see we have a day-by-day listing of every event going on, and then links out to additional information. Just as important as the event listings is our interactive map. People can use this map to see an overlay of events day by day and where they are throughout the county. This plays really, really well into the county's live traffic map. So we link out to that here on this page. We have a section for travel information that does link out directly to the county's map. And I know they'll be covering a little more of that later, so I won't dig too far into it. But in addition to this main page, we have a few deeper pages, including our travel information page that again has the map. It has traffic advisories and road closures linking out to the county site, information about shuttle services, things like that. So these are really logistic type pages designed to help people plan their time here at Car Week and how to get around. We also have a couple more informational pages. So this one I love, Monterey Car Week free event. So Car Week on a shoestring. So diving deeper into that information to help educate the visitor, educate the locals. We also have insider tips. I know Barry is speaking a little later. He did a great guest blog for us. And we are working on one that we'll publish in just the next day or so about family-friendly Car Week. So again, really trying to be that best source of information for people to turn to as they plan their time here, or locals who want to figure out what's the best way for me to get around, what can I avoid, or what's a better time to travel than others. In addition to our website, all of this comes through on our planning widget. This is the desktop version, but this is the same thing that will come through on the See Monterey app. I can drop a link in the chat to the Apple Store and the Google Play Store where people can download the app and use that to help them get around as well. Again, seeing all the different Car Week events throughout the county where they are. And then this also gives people options to look for dining. If people haven't booked their hotel, we certainly can help them find one. So a lot of other options available on your mobile phone through the See Monterey app. And the last thing I'll just say is, of course, while we want people to get around and enjoy Car Week, what we do want to remind all of our visitors of, and we have this app messaging out there, is to be kind and to be patient, especially to our hospitality workers that are doing the best they can to serve this wonderful community and serve all of our visitors. So you'll see some responsible travel ads. We have advertising going out in all the special sections from all the major publications here in the area. We've got bus side advertising. We've got a billboard on 101 right before the 156 cutoff, reminding people to travel responsibly. So again, another key feature of our messaging is come to Car Week, enjoy yourself, be kind, be responsible, and come back again later. So, Maya, is there anything else that I can add to that?
I'm really glad you touched on the economic importance of Car Week, because for people who live on the peninsula in particular, it can be very frustrating with the intensity of the crowds that come, but they're not here forever. And it is just a tremendous economic boom for that area, even for areas around who, people are in hotels in Salinas and further north and just come here. And you just cannot discount the importance of that economic impact of Car Week.
And we just actually got some research back showing that first-time visitors are 99% likely to say they want to and plan to return. So that's huge for us. We're going through the data still to make sure we fully understand it, but knowing if we can give people that great experience on their first visit, that they'll want to come back again, and we'll have them at another time when maybe it's not quite so crazy.
Another thing that See Monterey does is work with all the event organizers and does a lot of coordination. Have you seen, people who start with Car Week, they don't go away. They come back, year after year. Are there some newer events that people now really want to get in on the excitement of Car Week?
Yes, every year we do see, I think the only constant is change, as we know, and with Car Week, it's the same. So every year we see a few new events popping up. There's some smaller ones this year that are on the docket, including one hosted by Captain and Stoker. So they'll be hosting a classic cars and coffee sort of event going on, and that I believe will be I have it somewhere. I can follow up with that information, but we do see some new community-focused events. In addition, there's new angles to some of the returning events, including Concorso Italiano. They have some new features. They're expanding this year. There's a handful that are adding kids zones, which we've seen. That's why we're creating this new family-friendly Car Week blog to make sure that people understand Car Week can be for everyone, not just your high-end collector or your real car enthusiast, but to get people in and give them a taste of what's happening and get them to come back again.
Well, people with kids like cars. For sure.
And of course, you can't forget about the Concours de Le Mans, which
right.
is full of ugly cars. And then you have in PG, you have the little car show, so perfect for little kids and little cars.
Are there any questions for Lindsey before we move on to some of our other participants? Just in case you can go ahead and put them in chat, or you can, I'm not seeing any hands raised. But if we get some questions, Lindsey, I hope you can stay on in case we get some questions for you. And I may have some questions that come in other ways, so I may ask you then. But hold on, we'll keep you here for a little bit. So Lindsey mentioned the county's Car Week traffic navigation map. Car Week is a lot about, besides the excitement, is getting around. So we're very pleased to have Liz Gonzales, who's our permit manager for the county. She's going to talk about the county's interactive traffic map. We also have Commander Rosas here, who's going to talk about safety. And we have Saul Perez from the CHP to talk about safety. But Liz, I'm wondering if you would first show us and talk about the interactive map and why it's such a great thing.
Yes, thank you, Maya. So it's funny, it's called Car Week, but it's usually 10 days long. And as we started to grow, we were receiving a lot of inquiries about these special events. And so in 2018, HCD created the County of Monterey Car Week interactive map. The website is mccarweek.com. And so under the Car Week event schedule, it offers a list of Car Week events within the county and also the larger events that are located in the surrounding cities. This shows all the events with the dates that are scheduled and a link to each of the events websites. We've also added where their permits are, if they've already obtained their permits through the county. Or you can click on a specific day and it shows you which events are happening on that day. And what's really cool with this interactive map is that each event is numbered. And so it shows you exactly on the map where the event is taking place. And this also helps with traffic and road closures. Caltrans has offered to provide live directional traffic cams that show current live traffic at any given time. I believe, okay. We have a map legend that shows the symbols for road closures, construction, traffic advisories. And if you click up in the right-hand corner, you'll find an up-to-date road closure provided by Public Works. So this link is also listed on the Car Week event schedule. And it also includes you can text Car Week to 65513 to receive public safety texts during Car Week. So again, our website is mccarweek.com. And we also have a QR code on our social media that takes you to our Car Week website as well.
Liz, thank you so much for this. One thing that is different about this map and then the C Monterey map is that you've got all these events listed by permit. And I think for people who may be overwhelmed or wondering what's going on, is it a legitimate event? Is it an event that shouldn't be there? This is great information with people who have concerns about maybe pop-up events that might be unsafe.
Correct. And this is why we put this information in our interactive map so that the public is aware. The first step to any special event is to contact HCD through the special events questionnaire. And we get that initialized, and we actually have monthly meetings that talk about the events up to Car Week. And most of these events are recurring events, and they do get their information into us on time. They get their tent permits if needed into the county. We have had no issues with any of these events, and it's been a smooth process.
And this can make people also feel good that they're attending an event that is being done essentially the right way. If they have food, they've gotten all the right permits. You know, you just kind of know where you're going. And then, of course, the map with the traffic safety. I was hoping we could bring in CHP and Saul Perez here to participate in this because, Saul, you know how crazy the traffic can be on the peninsula. What are some words of advice and cautions that the CHP has for people attending Car Week?
Yeah, hello. Yes, can you hear me?
I sure can.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so first of all, thanks for having me here. It's a pleasure always being here, speaking with you and addressing the public. Yeah, so during this week, it is very common to see a higher flow of traffic going into Monterey County, right? It's a beautiful area, and now we're hosting these type of events, and every year seems to be getting bigger and bigger. With that also entails more vehicles coming into Monterey County. So because of that, CHP is preparing for those numbers, and we're preparing by having more available officers out there on the road. We're going to see a higher traffic volume, so people may feel entailed to speed more or to be less patient, but we're advising everyone to please withhold yourself to doing this. Drive within the speed limit, and just because it says a certain speed limit, that may not necessarily just be the safe speed for that specific moment. If traffic's flowing very slow, it's not necessarily safe to be traveling at higher speeds. Be careful with other drivers, because you might be driving well, but that doesn't necessarily entail that other people are driving safely or taking the appropriate measures. And for the locals here, I just recommend or just push forward for patience for during these, like mentioned, it's not a week anymore, it's more like 10 days to 2 weeks now. So just patience with everyone. Enjoy the week, do it safely, do it within speed, with appropriate speed, put on your seatbelts, and just avoid all type of measures when it comes to drinking and driving.
Oh, thank you, Saul. And Saul, we can't see you. I'm wondering if you could turn your camera on too.
Sure. Hello.
There you go. Thank you. We were looking at a map, and then we decided we want to look at you. So let's talk about the volume of traffic. There's a reason why you're putting more officers out in this area during this time, because there's just simply more people there, and more possibilities of things to go wrong. That the advice you gave is really good. Do you find that in general people do try to be good drivers I think you've been around for a car week before, so you kind of know what goes on, right?
Right, yes, that's correct. So there is a higher volume of tourists going around these different roadways and highways and freeways. The thing that we see is, because there's such a higher volume, the patience trickles down a little bit. So we're asking the locals at least to bring forward that patience, to be the voice of reason within our community, to show what proper driving should be done, be the example for these other drivers. Now, just because you're doing the correct thing doesn't necessarily mean that the rest are going to be doing the correct thing as well, right? So we're stressing everyone to not get involved in road rage incidents, to drive within the speed limit. If you see anything unsafe, go ahead and give 911 a call. The first thing they're going to ask is for your emergency. Second thing is going to ask for your location. So be ready for those two things.
And I know you're not a fire person, but fire is a concern, and we have a lot of cars that are towing, and people who may be parking, maybe not in exactly the right place to park, so they might be parking in areas with high grass. Do you have some safety information or suggestions for people, as it relates to fire concerns?
Right. So a major thing is to for the people that are coming into these areas, to plan ahead of time, right? We know there's going to be a higher volume of people and cars, all these places. That means more congestion places, and less availability for parking. So plan ahead, try to see where are some available places where you can park your vehicle, and park it in a safe place as well. So big thing of this is to plan ahead for these events.
Thank you so much for walking us through that. I know for locals, it's about patience and the idea of planning ahead, especially with that map. Now with that Caltrans information, people can see where there are road, maybe blockages or slow traffic. So it really helps people do exactly what you're saying, which is to plan ahead. Are there any questions for Saul or Liz about the map before we move forward? If not, we'll send any questions that we get, or we may ask you if you could stay on for a minute. We've got one more topic that we want to get to, because it's all about Laguna Seca, and we love Laguna Seca. There are so many events to talk about during Car Week, but the Rolex reunion is the largest event at Car Week. And of course, It's at Laguna Seca. This reunion brings hundreds of historic and classic cars to the track, which is just like a love fest for everyone. So we want to talk about the reunion. We have Barry Toepke and John Narigi from Laguna Seca. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. And tell us why people love the reunion so much.
Go for it, Barry.
Well, thank you. It's the car culture. California is known for car culture for years in design, performance, hot rods. And it's really a celebration of the automobile through generations. And, you know, the people who come here love to just connect, share their love and passion for the automobile, but also they only see each other once a year. And this is an opportunity to gather in a beautiful destination that we have here in order to celebrate everything. And we actually kick it off, you know, when people say Monterey Car Week is coming, it's here. We have our trailers already loading into the paddock right now. We have our kickoff race car show on Friday where we close off Alvarado Street. And thanks to the CHP, we take 30 or so police race cars down to Alvarado Street between 5 and 7. And we do that, we started that in 2010 as a way to bring the show to the residents, not necessarily the tourists or anything like that, but to show the passion that these people have for their cars and to share them with the locals. So we really kick it off. We launch it on Friday night.
And we have, hello, everybody. Our ticket sales are up, which is always good to hear, right? We're up about 12% over last year. We have our wonderful highway patrol assisting us on the 68 intersection. We have Delray Oaks Police on South Boundary. This year, we've addressed, the last 2 years, addressed the traffic situation. So all general admission tickets must go to South Boundary. If they show up on 68, we send them through our serpentine and back out to 68 to go up that way. So 68 is really only used for the teams, which is before any of you are up, they're already in the park, and also for credentials and VIP guests. So I think this past year we've done a good job. For some of you who don't know, and I'm surprised Barry didn't bring it up, what's really exciting about this year, did you all know Laguna Seca was the first track in the world to start vintage historic racing? Well, it is, and this year is the 50th anniversary. We have 30 vintage historic cars in our heritage tent that will go on show starting Thursday of the reunion through Saturday. And these cars are all one of the marks over the past 50 years that actually was the mark for the actual event. Last year, if you remember, the mark was Corvette. Well, this year, we are just celebrating our 50th anniversary, and all these very heritage vintage cars are really considered the mark for the event. So it is going to be absolutely fabulous. Last year, we had 378 cars on track. This year, we have 426, the largest gathering of vintage cars at Laguna Seca now over the last 6 years. So we're very excited, as you can tell. And Barry, who is the director of heritage events, he has been working on this event all year, and it will be spectacular.
And to add, you know, the event has international notoriety that in 2022, it was called the, you know, his motorsport event of the year on an international scale, which is a real nod to the whole Monterey Car Week as well. And it was brought up earlier, we do have a kids zone, we have go-karts, we have bands, we have the Air Force rock band performing. So we're adding different elements for families so they can come out and experience entertainment, not just motorsports alone, but really have a family time for everybody.
And Barry, for people who have not been to a reunion or seen it, talk about how getting these cars on the track is just really, again, it just adds to the love of the car culture, but to not just look at them on display, but to get those cars out on the track is just really amazing.
Yeah, these are cars that you don't see that are normally in museums or private collections. They don't get out very often. And it's a real sensory experience. You know, you can watch a race on TV, but you don't get the sense of speed. You don't get the sense of excitement. You know, the full sensory, the noise as well when you're standing next to these cars and you feel the vibration on some of them. And it's really you have to be here to experience. We're the only event during Car Week where the cars are doing what they were built to do, and that's race, go at speed. It's a gentleman driving, so there are very strict guidelines that if you hit another car, you're out. So we protect the driver and the car, and it's really a special showcase that, as we say, a motorsport museum revving to life. And that's what these cars are. They're going to outlive the caretakers of these cars because these are national treasures.
Well, yeah, no fender benders on the national treasures either. It's a good thing there's
No,
some
that would
strict
not be
rules. But
we have
go
known
ahead.
we have been known to put people on the trailer saying you may be excused from the rest of the event because we take it very seriously. We don't want any injuries. We don't want damage. This is for fun. And the participants who are coming here, this is their yearly trek. They love coming to Monterey. They love going to the restaurants, going to the shops. And this is a fun thing. So we want to make sure that when they're here, they are getting the full experience that Monterey County is known for.
Well, so aptly named the reunion. I mean, what better name could there be?
And many of the participants, I'll say it nicely, have aged out. We actually have a gentleman who we're going to retire this year, who is 89 years old. He has driven in this event ever since it started. And he's actually a local, very well-known gentleman from our community. Lives right over here on Orellis Grade. But Barry, a lot of these guys, as long as they can get in the car, they still think they can drive. And you do not want to wreck these multi-million-dollar, beautiful vehicles. And it doesn't happen. We're very strict on gentleman driving.
And we have advisory council. We have stewards who watch every race. They go talk to the drivers. We have stewards for each group as well to make sure that they have the mindset. Because what's known as red mist, that they put on their helmet, put their visor down, and they're on a racetrack. By gosh, I'm a race car driver, Formula One world champion. We talk to them and make sure that they understand why we are here.
And how are you going to get that 89-year-old guy out from behind the wheel? There's going to be some talking there, right?
He has already agreed to.
Okay.
He's a wonderful man, has been a huge supporter of Laguna. And we all know him, and he knows this is his last run, right, Barry?
Yep.
Well, you have to give him a big send off. I do have one question about the preview. How has that impacted the event? Because people who love this event love it no matter what, but people who don't know it and get a chance to see the cars, they may not be able to get over to Laguna Seca, but then you bring the cars out to the people. What has been the response when people come out there and see these incredible cars?
It's big smiles. And what's really cool is that you see a lot more families. You see young kids getting into the cars, getting their pictures inside the car, pretending to be the driver. It's really a family affair. And that's one thing that all the events that we're trying to do out here at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca is it's more than just motorsports. It's an experience. It's entertainment. And that's true whether it's IndyCar or IMSA or the Rolex reunion is, we need to get them to experience the beautiful park that we have here and the beautiful campgrounds.
And grow the next generation of car enthusiasts, right?
Absolutely.
That's one of our big missions. The real vintage racers, collectors are aging out, and we have got to figure out a way to bring the young into this world-renowned sport. But it was a big sport for many, but they're retiring, they're aging out. And that has become a concern and a huge topic for this our advisory council that Barry mentioned. And I'm assuming Pebble has some of the same concerns.
And just one last thing on to add about when we talk about traffic, we're very strict at not allowing traffic out on A Road onto Highway 68 between certain hours. Everyone has to go out through South Boundary, not to put additional traffic flow onto Highway 68.
So on, Thursday and Friday of our Rolex reunion, everyone will be exiting out South Boundary Road up to 7 p.m., potentially 8 p.m. no one's allowed to go down a road. No tractor trailers or campers or RVs are ever allowed to go down a road any longer. So that's our gift of promoting safety. I don't know why they want to do it. It's a lot easier to go out south, but that's a new policy that we put into play this season.
Well, Laguna Seca is always trying to be a good neighbor, for everyone. So
We do try.
thank you both for talking about the reunion. It's just so
Thank you.
exciting, and we just can't wait to see the pictures from it. And if you're worried about the next generation, if you've got increased ticket sales and more cars on the track, maybe you're hitting the nail on that one, because they're still coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thanks
everybody.
everyone for
Enjoy
thanks,
Car
everyone.
Week.
Everyone enjoy it. Thanks for joining us on the news briefing this week. Our next briefing is next week. We'll see you then.